Eric, are you ready?
Yes, I'm sorry, can I mute?
All right, we're back on the record in cause number 2021-0D01230, State of Texas versus Jose Francisco Vasquez. Mr. Beal, did you have something for the court?
Yeah, Judge, I talked to my client about denial and all that. That's a road we're not going to go down. He's got 10 days as a condition of his probation. I think if we started him this week, it could be the first step into a little bit of sobriety. And we talked about things to do after he gets out.
I mean, do we have an issue? Does he have a drinking problem? I thought I heard Mr. Macias say he's been through TAP. He's received treatment. So
yeah,
has he been assessed, Mr. Macias?
I'm relying on the test that Mr. Macias is going to send me, but that I haven't seen. But even if the numbers are exaggerated, I'm not saying that they are. Even one positive test to me seems that with his history, he shouldn't be drinking at all. And Mr. Vasquez agrees with me. And I guess we're asking for the court to allow him to get 10 days worth of forced sobriety and then let him take it from there, maybe with some other program, Judge. And I'm all ears for suggestions about what that might be.
So let's start with, I guess, bad news first is going to be sanction. Mr. Macias, how many total positives do we have? I see 14 as of the date of the case summary, but how many do we have?
Your Honor, we have to add a couple more. September, I'm not sure if I've sent you up to September, but in September we have the 3rd, we have the 6th, and we have the 11th. Mr. Beal, just so that you know, September 11th was the last time, which is 2 days ago. We have a positive BA of 0.047 at 10:05 p.m.
Yeah.
We have multiple tests after that, all positive. The last test that he submitted was at 11:21 p.m., which was an hour and 16 minutes later, and he's still blue numbers of 0.016.
Mr. Beal, what does your client do?
He's a plumber, Judge, and he uses his truck to drive to jobs. I suggested maybe a helper to help him drive.
So,
and his driver, not that it really matters, but his driver's license, he is in effect. It's a good driver's license, and he says he's got insurance.
okay. So I'm not there yet in terms of allowing him permission to drive, but obviously, yes, Mr. Beal, if he intends to make that request of the court, I will want to see proof of a valid driver's license and current insurance. I'm definitely not there considering his non-compliance. What we're going to do is, in lieu of a bench warrant, Mr. Macias, I'm going to go ahead and order days to do. It's not going to be those 10 days though, because to me, this is significant non-compliance. He's driving, he's drinking frequently, he's missing tests. And so really, Mr. Vasquez, you need to know something. There's really no reason for me to keep you on probation at this point because you haven't shown that you are going to comply. But what we're going to do is a 30-day jail commitment. He's to turn himself in this Friday by 8 p.m. I am willing to do work release, Mr. Beal,
All right.
if he is working, but he doesn't have permission to drive. So he needs to figure that out.
With a helper to drive, a driver.
Helper to drive, there you go. So that helper can, or maybe another helper can get him to jail. We're gonna start this Friday. It's gonna be every day until he completes his 30 days. They will be allowed to be done work release. If he wants to do them straight, that is his prerogative as well, Mr. Beal, but it is gonna be the 10 days original ACOP and then the 20 days as a sanction for his non-compliance. What I'm telling you with that, Mr. Vasquez, and let me just remind Mr. Beal, we're gonna need to make sure we tell your client, because if he's still working during that time, you better not show up to the jail smelling like alcohol or being under the influence of anything. Don't be late. You turn yourself in. I'll actually do 9 p.m. and he's to be released at 5 a.m. daily.
All right.
I know there'll be some adjustment there with the monitor, Mr. Macias. So you are to maintain the monitor. So that means when you're not in jail, you are still to be testing. After that, we're going to do a status hearing in 60 days, Mr. Macias. We need to look at reevaluating if he has, issues with alcohol use, which to me is clearly the case, unless it's just his attitude. We'll look at resources to assist him. But that is going to be the last time, Mr. Vasquez, that I let this go without simply just revoking your probation.
Judge, does he need to elect work release right now, or
I'm sorry, what was that?
does he need to elect the work release right now?
I probably need to know that now. So if you need another minute, we can get off the record. But what I'm telling you,
About 30 seconds, yeah, Judge. So.
Sure, go ahead. Just mute and turn off your camera. I feel like it's so intrusive if we're